The rain fell like sheets of silver as Daniel Myers drove down the empty country road, the windshield wipers fighting hard to keep the downpour from swallowing his view. It was one of those nights when every sensible person stayed indoors, tucked safely behind warm walls. But Daniel wasn't heading home empty-handed. His 5-year-old son, Liam, was waiting. He had promised he'd pick up groceries before the storm reached its peak. Daniel sighed, brushing his wet hair back. Life as a single dad was a never-ending marathon. Work, meals, laundry, bills, parenting, repeat. But he never complained. Liam was his world. He turned the radio down, the soft hum of it blending with the pounding rain. The road ahead was nearly invisible, swallowed by darkness. That's when he saw them. 2 tiny silhouettes huddled together on the roadside. Daniel's heart lurched. He hit the brakes hard. The car shuddered to a stop, tires skidding slightly on the wet pavement. For a moment he thought his eyes were deceiving him. No child should be out in a storm like this. He blinked twice, but they were real. 2 little girls, maybe 7 or 8, standing barefoot on the gravel shoulder. Their dresses soaked, their thin arms wrapped tightly around each other. Trembling, Daniel grabbed his umbrella and jumped out of the car. Hey, are you 2 okay? He called, raising his voice over the storm. The girls flinched. One hid behind the other. The older one, at least older by a minute or 2, lifted her chin defensively, though her lip trembled. We're fine, she stuttered. A lie so transparent Daniel felt his chest tighten. You're not fine, he said softly. You're freezing. He knelt down so he wouldn't tower over them. My name is Daniel. I have a son at home. I'm just trying to help, I promise. The girls exchanged a terrified look. The younger twin whispered, he said not to talk to strangers, Arya. The older one, Arya, swallowed hard. But we can't stay here, Nora. It's too cold. Daniel realized they were at their breaking point. Please, he said gently. Just come sit in the car where it's warm. I won't ask anything else until you're ready. After a long silence, Arya nodded slowly. She took Nora's hand, and they followed Daniel to the car. He opened the back door and wrapped his jacket around their shaking bodies. The moment they felt the warm air from the heater, Nora burst into tears, soft, quiet sobs that sounded like she'd been holding them in for hours. Daniel's heart ached. Are you hurt? He asked. Both shook their heads. Are you lost? No response. Did you run away? Arya looked down. That was enough of an answer. At home. Daniel's small home wasn't much. 2 bedrooms, old furniture, creaking floors, but it was warm, and tonight, that felt like luxury. Liam ran to the door as Daniel entered. Daddy, you're back. Who are they? Daniel forced a smile. These girls needed a place to stay for a little while. Can you get the extra blankets? Liam nodded and sprinted off. The twins sat on the couch, wrapped in towels. Their wet hair clung to their faces, and their eyes scanned the room like they expected danger to jump from the shadows. Daniel handed them steaming mugs of hot cocoa. Nora clutched hers with both hands. Thank you, she whispered, her voice barely audible. Arya stayed quiet, her protective instincts strong. Daniel didn't push. Experience as a parent had taught him that kids reveal things when they feel safe, not when they're interrogated. You're safe here, he assured them. No one can hurt you. Arya flinched at the word hurt. Daniel noticed. Liam sat beside them on the couch, offering his stuffed dinosaur. Here, he helps when someone is scared. Nora took it with trembling hands, a tiny smile flickering across her face. Arya let out a shaky breath, as if she finally believed they weren't in danger. The story begins to break through. After they'd eaten warm soup and changed into Liam's spare pajamas, the girls were finally relaxed enough to speak. Arya's voice was firm but tired. We were staying at someone's house. Someone bad. Nora nodded vigorously. We didn't want to stay there anymore. We just ran, Arya continued. And then the rain started. We didn't know where to go. Are your parents looking for you? Daniel asked gently. Nora looked up. Mommy will be. Mommy always finds us. Where is she now? Arya hesitated, then whispered, far away. She was working. She didn't know they put us in that place. Daniel frowned. Something wasn't right. He didn't pry further. Not yet. Instead, He made them a makeshift bed in the living room. As they settled under the blankets, Nora looked at him with wide, trusting eyes. "Can we stay here tonight?" Daniel nodded without hesitation. "Of course. You're safe." Arya finally relaxed, her breathing steady. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice fragile. "No one has ever helped us like this." Daniel felt a lump in his throat. He had no idea that by morning, his life, and theirs, would be changed forever. Because their mother wasn't just any mother. She was a millionaire searching the entire city for her missing daughters. And this small act of kindness would lead to something he never expected. The storm had quieted by morning, leaving behind the soft patter of water dripping from the roof, the kind of peaceful sound that made Daniel feel like the world had exhaled. He moved quietly in the kitchen, careful not to wake the 3 children sleeping in the living room. The twins lay curled beside Liam, sharing a blanket, their tiny faces finally calm, peaceful, safe. It warmed his heart. Children shouldn't look that relieved to simply sleep. Daniel brewed coffee and checked the clock, 7:12 a.m. He had already called in for a late start at the hardware store, explaining it was an unexpected family situation. His boss, an old friend, didn't ask questions. He peeked into the living room again. Arya stirred first, blinking slowly as she recognized where she was. Panic flickered across her face for the briefest moment, until she spotted Nora curled beside her. Her shoulders relaxed. "Safe." Daniel stepped in gently. "Good morning. Did you sleep okay?" Arya nodded, rubbing her eyes. "Yes. Thank you for letting us stay." Nora woke moments later, rubbing her cheeks and hugging Liam's stuffed dinosaur like it was a treasured jewel. Liam bounced up like sunshine itself. "Pancakes," he declared loudly. Nora giggled. Arya tried not to smile, but it slipped through. Daniel started mixing batter. "You girls hungry?" A pair of nods answered him. As he cooked, he studied them carefully. Their hair, though brushed, still showed signs of neglect. Their pajamas, a size too big for them, hung loosely. And despite their temporary comfort, their eyes held a quiet fear that hadn't yet faded. Something had happened, something serious, and Daniel was determined to protect them until he knew they were safe. A knock that changed everything. They had just finished breakfast when it happened. Boom, boom, boom. The pounding on the door rattled the entire house. Nora froze instantly, the fork slipping from her small hands. Arya grabbed her sister's arm protectively. Their faces went pale. "And no," Nora whispered. "It's him. He found us." Daniel's pulse spiked. "Who? Girls, who do you think it is?" Arya's voice trembled. "The man we were staying with. He's dangerous." Daniel didn't know the full story, but he didn't need to. He stepped between the children and the door. "Stay here," he ordered gently. "Don't move." The knocking grew louder, now desperate, forceful, almost violent. Daniel grabbed his phone but kept his body blocking the view of the living room. Slowly, he unlocked the door, opening it only 3 inches. And froze. Standing on his porch. Not 1, not 2, but 6 large men in black suits. Behind them, 2 luxury black SUVs idled silently. The men weren't threatening, but their presence was powerful, the way only trained professionals carried themselves. A woman stood in front of them. Elegant, striking, sleepless eyes. Her expensive coat was drenched at the edges as if she had been pacing in the rain from the night before. Her trembling hand clutched a photograph. Daniel's brain scrambled. Bodyguards. SUVs. A woman who looked like she had just stepped out of a magazine cover. "Are you Daniel Myers?" she asked breathlessly. "Yes. Please tell me you've seen my daughters." Her voice cracked. She lifted the photograph shakily. Daniel recognized the faces instantly. Arya and Nora. He exhaled deeply. "They're safe. Inside my home." The woman's knees buckled, and a bodyguard quickly caught her. She sobbed. "Thank God. Thank God." Daniel stepped aside. "Please, come in." The reunion. The moment the woman entered, Nora gasped. "Mommy." The millionaire mother collapsed to her knees, her arms flying open. "My babies." Both girls ran to her, crying so hard their little bodies shook. She wrapped them in a trembling embrace, kissing their hair over and over. "I'm here. I came as fast as God I thought I lost you. Arya spoke through sobs. He said you weren't coming back. I would never leave you, their mother cried. Never. Daniel stepped back, giving them space, but the moment didn't escape him. The twins belonged to someone who loved them fiercely. Someone who had the means to protect them. Someone who had searched all night. One bodyguard leaned near her. Ma'am, we should notify the police that the girls are safe. She nodded quickly, wiping her face. Yes, do it. Then she turned to Daniel. My name is Evelyn Hart, she said softly. Thank you. You saved my daughter's lives. It was nothing, Daniel replied honestly. They were alone in the storm. I just did what anyone would have done. Evelyn shook her head, tears spilling again. No, not everyone would have stopped. Her gaze moved around his modest home, the patched-up walls, the old furniture, the simple kitchen. You took them in, she whispered. Fed them, protected them. A stranger would never do that. Daniel felt embarrassment warm his cheeks. Well, it was the right thing to do. A life-changing invitation. As the girls clung to their mother, Evelyn turned once more to Daniel. I owe you more than words, she said. I want you and your son to come with us to my estate. Daniel blinked. To your estate? Yes, she said firmly. The police will want statements. And after that, I'd like to thank you properly. Please, let me do this. Daniel hesitated, but then Liam peeked from behind him, holding his dinosaur, eyes wide with excitement. Evelyn smiled warmly. Please, Daniel, she said. You saved the two most important people in my world. Let me repay your kindness. He finally nodded, and that single decision would change both their lives forever.